Back to the NAACP for a moment. I think many people think of the NAACP primarily as a legal organization, as an organization that achieved change through legal means, through the courts. Um, do you think this fairly characterizes the NAACP?
No.
Why not?
Well, one of the first executive orders that President uh, um, Roosevelt, not one of the first ones, but an executive order that President Roosevelt, uh, issued uh, about the armed services, the preliminary one, uh, was done as a result of the NAACP's lobbying and campaigning, and the fact that Mrs. Roosevelt was on our board of directors. Walter White and Mrs. Roosevelt had a good relationship, and it was possible to get Mrs. Roosevelt to work with Walter White and Philip Randolph and get the president, then Roosevelt, to understand that an executive order desegregating federal installations should be issued. And of course, that wasn't integration, but it was a first step. And that was done without any legal action. And the civil rights law, the first civil rights law, was achieved primarily through lobbying and through under the aegis of Clarence Mitchell's the Washington Bureau. Again, that historic act was passed by Congress as a result of lobbying, which was within the confines of legality, but it wasn't a legal act. So I think, and the public accommodations law, the same thing. So there are so many things which widely affect our society, which the NAACP inspired, led, and accomplished, which were not legal actions, as such actions as far as litigation is concerned.
But again, this may be redundant. Why is it that we still think of, or many people think of, the NAACP as primarily a legal organization, and these other activities that you've mentioned aren't associated in the public mind with the NAACP?
I suspect one of the reasons is our lawyers appeared before the Supreme Court so many times. Former General Counsel Robert Carter had made some 36 appearances before the Supreme Court and won about 30 of those cases. And before that, Thurgood Marshall, before he became a justice when he was NAACP counsel, appeared before the Supreme Court. I can't remember the exact number now, but it was more than 24 times. And of course, most of those cases were won. And this, of course, the press, the publicity of the winning of these cases set in the minds of people that legal action was responsible or is responsible for our progress in this country, and to an important extent it is. But without the grassroots lobbying and without the work, the meticulous work of putting before our congressmen, both on local, state and federal levels, the need to enact certain laws and the pressure from the grassroots, we would not be where we were today.